Hi guys, today is November 4th, welcome to Total Cult Gaming. Today I want to talk about the voice actor strike that's been going on recently in the video game industry and the hashtag that's been doing the rounds on Twitter, hashtag performance matters. Now, well-acted performance can make all of the difference in a video game. Video game characters have made us laugh, they've made us cry, they've made us angry, and they've even made us personally invested enough to feel their loss. Now, to me, that comes down to a combination of good scripting, good storytelling, and really good voice acting. People like Troy Baker, who gave us both the brooding father figure of Joel in The Last of Us and the unhinged elegance of Far Cry 4's Pagan Min. We also have Jennifer Hale's performance in the Mass Effect trilogy that made the female Commander Shepard just so compelling. And even industry legend Nolan North was hired to re-record the voice of Ghost in Destiny a year after it was released. And that replaced the lackluster performance of an Emmy award-winning actor, Peter Dinklage. Performance matters, it really does, and the voice actors themselves put their vocal cords through enormous stress to deliver that performance. And when you hear Marcus Phoenix's grizzled voice in Gears of War shouting out in rage, you probably find it hard to believe that it's actually John DiMaggio, the voice of Bender from Futurama. Long recording sessions can cause vocal stress that can lead to injury of the vocal cords, leaving actors unable to work, and it's this, along with several other points, that's caused the voice actors to strike against many big name publishers. So let me give you a little bit of backstory on this. The current industry standard contract for voice work in video games is 20 years old, and that actually expired in 2014. Since then, video game companies and the voice actors union SAG AFTRA have been in negotiations to rework that contract. Now sadly, negotiations were unsuccessful, and on the 21st of October, SAG AFTRA declared a strike for all union member voice actors, with 250 members picketing EA's California offices on October 24th. The main points that SAG AFTRA seem to want addressing are health and safety related. Under the current contract, voice actors are required to do 4 hours per session in a recording booth, regardless of the type of work. Now that doesn't seem like much until you take into account the fact that the voice talent for a video game will be required to speak, shout, scream, perform a dozen painful sounding death scenes, many other things that will put high stress on the actor's voice. Some performers have reported vomiting or coughing up blood and even losing their voices after an intense session. SAG AFTRA want the actors informed in advance of high stress sessions, and the length of these high stress sessions cut from 4 hours down to 2. And that brings us to another demand from SAG AFTRA: transparency. They feel that the actors need to know more about the project they're working on so they can prepare either for a day of moody monologues or for a day of blood-curdling battle cries. In addition to this, the union also want more safety precautions and stunt team coordinators on mocap heavy scenes, as many of the stunts performed for a video game are as physically intensive as performing them for TV or movies. Now, some publishers have hit back at the request by saying limiting info is to avoid potential leaks, but as voice actor Steve Blum points out, actors working on any project are required to sign legally binding non-disclosure agreements anyway. Now, by some reports, the union have been met with an attitude from publishers that says no one cares about voice acting, citing that performance makes up less than 0.1% of the end product. But you could go ahead and say that about film too. You can sit and watch The Martian, for instance, and think about all the costume designers, all the set builders, the sound technicians, the cameramen. They're the ones that we should be applauding, but it's Matt Damon's face on the poster that sells the cinema tickets. It's his performance that matters. There's also money on the table too, but instead of the usual wage increase associated with most wage disputes, the union are requesting bonuses paid post-release on games that turn a significant profit. What they want is for a bonus to be paid after a game hits 2 million sales, then again at 4 million, and again at 6, and then capped at 8 million. Now this would not only provide adequate compensation for the contributing actors, but also ensure that smaller studios or indie developers aren't hit by a sudden hike in voice actor fees. Now, it may come as no surprise whatsoever, but I am with the voice actors on this one. The games industry isn't the same as it was 20 years ago. Back then, a fully voiced video game was a novelty. Now it's just the industry standard. Adventure games have got branching narratives and dozens of NPCs. Sports games have got full dynamic commentary, often shouted in frenzied cheers, hundreds and hundreds of lines of dialogue. Now, I've included a few links in the description below, including a link to a 7-minute audio clip of Steve Blum explaining exactly what SAG AFTRA want from the new contract for voice actors. Now, usually at this point I'd make some sort of rubbish quip and do a sign off and say game on, but all I really want to say is this: performance matters.